Hello and welcome. We will be reading The Giver by Lois Lowry during this novel study course. And this PowerPoint is just an introduction to what we will be doing. The Giver. In this presentation, we will cover the cast of characters, the novel summary, utopia versus dystopia, a video clip of Pleasantville, important vocabulary words, a quick summary of your responsibilities as the student, reading and discussion requirements for you, due date requirements for the discussion and reading requirements, and discussions, comments, and concerns, which I will tell you how to get a hold of me. Cast of characters in order of appearance. We first meet Jonas. He's a serious young man, but he's apprehensive about the approaching ceremony of 12. At this ceremony, he receives his life assignment, which is what he will do as an adult in the community in which he lives. Asher is an outgoing, fun-loving youngster. He is Jonas's best friend. He is what could be considered the comic relief for the novel. Father. Father does not have a name. He is Jonas's father. His life assignment is nurturer of new children, and he works at the nurturing center in the community. He's a gentle and patient man, and for that reason, that is why he was chosen as nurturer. Lily is Jonas's younger sister. She is curious and spunky and just matter of a fact type of kid. Mother does not have a name like father doesn't. She is Jonas's mother. She is an official within the community. She has an important position at the Department of Justice. Gabe is a child whose formal name is Gabriel. He is a new child who, at the nurturing center, is under father's care. And father ends up bringing him home to nurture him within the house, or within his family unit as well. Fiona is a female 11. She's gentle and caring. At the ceremony of 12, she receives her life's assignment as caretaker of the old. Jonas likes her. Now, Jonas, Fiona, and Asher are all good friends, and they do their volunteer hours at the House of the Old. And Larissa is an old woman that lives in the House of the Old, and she is the character that Jonas spends time with. The chief elder is a female, and every year at the ceremony, she gives a personalized speech which announces each individual's assignment at the ceremony of 12. The Giver. This is a name that the elderly man, known as the current receiver of memory, tells Jonas to call him. He says, "Call me the Giver because you are now the receiver of memory." So he is also one of the elders in the community, so a high-ranking official, and he's been the receiver of memory for a very long time. We're going to do the book summary right now. One thing you need to know is at the beginning of the book, Jonas is actually 11 years old. Remember, I said that he was apprehensive about the approaching ceremony of 12. So for the bulk of the book, Jonas spends as a 12-year-old who's living in a perfect world. In his world, there is no war, no hunger, no conflict. Everyone's needs are met. Everyone has meaning and meaningful, satisfying work. They are appreciative of their life assignments. They enjoy what they do. Everyone's content. Nobody wants anything. Nobody's jealous of anyone. They're very supportive of one another. We say it takes a village to raise a child. In The Giver, the village does raise the child. And everyone's polite to one another. There's no jealousy, there's no hatred, there's no anger. Jonas lives with his mother, his father, and his little sister. They are known as a family unit. Family units consist of a mother and a father and two children, typically a boy and a girl. Each dinner they share their feelings from the day. Now this is a time of training for the children because the children will share a quote-unquote feeling, and if they don't use the word in the correct way, the parents then show them how that word is not used correctly. For example, if a child were to say, I was starving today because I forgot to take my lunch, the parents would correct the child. You were not starving. You were hungry because you forgot your lunch. You don't know what starving is. That's not the correct term. There's no starving in this community. So, each breakfast then, they share their dreams from the previous night. Then in December, every December, at the ceremony, this is where children receive the benchmarks of their childhood. Okay, so from age 1 to age 12, every year at this ceremony, a group of children will turn a certain age, and they receive some type of benchmark for that age. You have an assignment to do called the life assignment schedule, where for each age you will write down what happens to the children. The one that we're mainly concerned with, the one that the book is mainly about, are 12-year-olds. Okay, so 12-year-olds receive their life assignments or their adult futures. Some adult roles are caretaker of the old, teacher, doctor, nurturer, laborer, etc. You've already been told that Fiona becomes caretaker of the old. Okay, Jonas, however, is not assigned a life assignment. In fact, his number is skipped, and so that makes him even more embarrassed and apprehensive, and just feelings of, what did I do wrong? Why was I not assigned a life assignment? At the end of the ceremony, we find that Jonas, in fact, was selected. He has certain qualities that they've been looking for, and he was selected to be receiver of memory. So not assigned, but selected. During assignment training days, each of the children go to whatever they've been assigned to, and then they begin specific training on their life assignment. Jonas spends his training days in the company of a man called the Giver. The Giver then transmits to Jonas secrets underpinning the carefully controlled society or community in which they live. Secrets as to why they live the way they do. Nobody in the community knows. The Giver is the only one that holds those secrets, and he begins transmitting them to Jonas. He also transmits some personal, or reveals some personal secrets to Jonas. As Jonas begins to understand the price that his society, that humankind has paid for its peace and contentment, he begins to look for ways to change how things are. He no longer feels that the way the community is living is the correct way to live. And then finally, at the climax of the novel, when a child's life is threatened, Jonas then is forced to take action. Utopia versus dystopia. Utopia is an ideally perfect place or society, especially within its social, political, and moral aspects. Nothing is wrong. Everything is perfect. Okay. A dystopia, however, is a society or place where everything is as bad as it can be. Okay, so in the case of the novel The Giver, you will have to decide if Jonas's community is a place of utopia or dystopia. Is it a perfect place, or is it not a perfect place? Decision is up to you. Okay, now we are going to watch a video clip, a trailer from the movie Pleasantville. Pleasantville was a movie put back out in the late 90s. It's about a utopia, which is actually a TV show from 1950s. So it's in black and white, but everything is perfect in this community. Everyone has a job. The mothers stay home and take care of the house. The girls are polite. The kids are polite. Everything's perfect. There's nothing wrong in this world. And then along comes two teenagers from the 1990s, late 1990s. They get zapped into Pleasantville. Okay? They bring with them real emotion, real raw emotion, feelings, anger, love, desire, all this all these feelings and emotions they bring with them, and they begin to infect the residents of Pleasantville. And the residents of Pleasantville begin changing. They begin seeing color. They begin experiencing emotions. Things aren't so perfect anymore. And they have to decide if they enjoy it, if they feel that it's the way that things should be. They experience environmental changes. Rain. They've never experienced rain before. They didn't know what rain was. So many changes. So what I want you to do is click play and watch Pleasantville, and then when it's over, come back to finish up with the presentation. The following next few slides talk about some important vocabulary words. It is important for you to know that if you come across an unknown word, use context clues to help define that word. And context clues are the whole sentence, or maybe even a couple sentences around that help you figure out maybe what that word might mean. If the above strategy does not work for you, then you need to use a dictionary, but you must know that a dictionary may give you 2, 3, 4, 5 different definitions for one word. So you still need to use those context clues to figure out which definition is the appropriate one. So the following slides host just a few of the several important vocabulary words in this novel. Admonition means to advise to do or advise against doing something. That means you're going to warn someone. You're going to caution them about something. Chastise means to scold severely. A hatchery is a place where eggs are hatched under artificial conditions. Interdependence means mutually dependent or depending on each other. Omnibus means predicting evil or harm. Reprieve is to relieve temporarily from any evil. Sinuous is something that is characterized by a series of graceful curving motions. And solemn means serious or earnest. Earnest meaning deep sincerity or seriousness. Okay, here's a quick summary of your responsibilities as a student. You will have a pre-reading activity to complete. It's an anticipation guide. If you're familiar with an anticipation guide, then you know, true or false, agree or disagree. In this case, it's true or false. So you're going to want to save the anticipation guide to your computer, open it up, enable editing if you have to, edit it, true or false, save it again, email it to me. Then while you're reading, you will have 2 activities to do as well. A list of terms, which you will figure out what those terms are by reading the novel, and then the community life schedule, which we talked about, what happens to the children each age. I think there are 2 or 3 ages where nothing's listed in the novel. Those are noted on your paper. Don't worry about those 2 or 3. You'll also have a quick quiz. It's open May 10th through May 17th. For the readings, okay, you have chapter due dates. It's not like I say have chapter 1 done by this date, have chapter 2 done by this date. I group chapters together. Your first grouping is a large grouping. It's 8 chapters. Most of the groupings are 2 to 3 chapters, but your first grouping is 8, okay? And so, for example, chapters 1 through 8 are going to be due May 6th. You need to have the readings done by May 6th. That is about a reading or a chapter and a half a day. That should not be difficult to do at all. And then we're going to have forum postings or discussions. Each chapter is going to have 1 question, and it will be due the day after the chapter is due. So if chapters 1 through 8 are due on May 6th, then your responses to each chapter, 1 through 8, your responses to each chapter are due on the 7th, okay? You also have 3 times through the course thought-provoking questions that will be due by a certain date. I personally think it'd be easier if you answered the chapter questions as you finish the chapters so that the information is fresh in your memory. These are your dates. Just remember the 6th, 8th, 10th, 13th, 15th, 17th. So about every 2 days. And then your discussions schedule the same, the day after the chapter readings are due. 7th, 9th, 11th, 14th, 16th, and 18th. You will have a post-reading project to do. It's called Your New World. Within that, you will need to use a rubric. You will need to use a couple graphic organizers to organize your thoughts, and then you will make a PowerPoint presentation which you will email to me. You also have a final assessment that's due May 24th. It opens up on the 17th for you. There's also a list of useful and fun websites for you to view at your leisure. Lois Lowry's official website is on there, so if you really like The Giver and you want to know some other books that she has written, you can go to her website. I've listed a reading and comprehension aid to help you as you read The Giver if you get stuck on some points of the novel or whatever. I've also given you a test preparation aid that you can use, and then just for fun, a crossword and hangman. Okay, questions, comments, or concerns. If you have any of these, please email me. I want you to know that I check my email several times during the day, but I do not check it after 8 p.m. at night. So if you do email me after 8, you will not get a response until the next day. If you have a question, comment, or concern that doesn't need immediate attention, you can always post in the question forum underneath our first block on the website, and I will get to it. That's the end of the PowerPoint. I hope that you enjoy the novel. I feel it's thought-provoking. It's one of my favorite novels. I hope it becomes one of your favorite novels. Happy reading!